What's going on, everyone? Akbach here. Now today we have our very first rebuild here on Madden 19, which just dropped today. Usually I would do the Browns here, but since a lot of people are already doing Browns rebuilds, I kind of want to wait a little bit. And I want to do a team that not a lot of people are doing yet, and that is the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks have been very good for a while, but they're going to be starting their rebuild now after losing players like Michael Bennett, Richard Sherman, Cam Chancellor, and potentially Earl Thomas. So looking at this team, Russell Wilson will be here long-term at the quarterback position. He's not going to be going anywhere. 92 overall, superstar development, looking very good at running back. We will start the first-round rookie from San Diego State, Rashad Penny. Wide receiver, Doug Baldwin, what is he, 30, 31-ish? 29. I might keep him. He's certainly not untouchable. Tyler Lockett, Brandon Marshall, John Brown, or I guess Jaron Brown. I thought he signed with Baltimore. I guess not. So the receivers are, nothing special. Tight ends, no. Offensive line, no. On the defensive side of the ball, defensive line, maybe Frank Clark will stay here long term. Maybe Jaron Reed, but it's not great at the defensive line. Linebacker, Bobby Wagner, he's not going anywhere. 28 years old, 97 overall, superstar development. I'm probably going to start Shaquem Griffin at one of the outside linebacker spots, which means I'll trade KJ Wright or Markevious Mingo. This rebuild is unrealistic, by the way. Any trade goes. I can trade for whoever I want. In the secondary, Cam Chancellor is still in the game, even though I'm pretty sure he retired in real life. We'll hold on to him. Earl Thomas, who will probably get traded in real life, I kind of want to hold on to him too. And corners, not great. Shaquille Griffin is solid, but outside of that, no one really at that cornerback spot. So let's start making some trades. It looks like our tight end spot will be solidified for the rest of the rebuild as we're trading KJ Wright, Tyler Lockett, and J.C. McKissick. Is that his name? J.C.? Not entirely sure. But we're going to get Rob Gronkowski from the Patriots. I didn't really want to trade Tyler Lockett, but I do think it is worth it. We are trading Markevious Mingo and Tedrick Thompson to the Pittsburgh Steelers for Juju Smith-Schuster. I'm surprised it was so easy to get him, as he's only 21 years old, star development, 80 overall. He will most likely be here for the remainder of the rebuild. We're going to be trading Brandon Marshall and DJ Fluker to the Green Bay Packers for the 21st overall pick. I did not know it was this easy to trade for first-round picks, so let's get some more. We're going to be trading C.J. Carson and Mike Davis, neither of whom would start, as well as a third-round pick to the Arizona Cardinals for their first-round pick. We're going to be sending Dwayne Brown, Deion Jordan, and Justin Britt to the Jets for their first-round pick this year and their third-rounder next year. So with trading Brown and Britt away, we have no offensive line anymore. I am sorry, Russell Wilson, but you're going to get tortured again this year. I am trading Trey Boston, Dez Bryant, and Kayvon Webster, all three of whom I just signed out of free agency, to the Oakland Raiders for Khalil Mack. So I got Khalil Mack for 3. I am a very good negotiator, my friends. You're welcome. We're going to be trading Trey Madden, Jaron Brown, and Kenny Vaccaro. Vaccaro I just signed to the Titans for Jack Conklin. If you think signing people is cheating, just tell me in the comments below, but there's no rebuild rulebook, so I'm allowed to do whatever I want. I'm going to be trading Maurice Alexander to the Bucs for a third-round pick. This third-round pick will be used in a bigger trade. If that bigger trade does not work, then I'd be glad to keep the pick, because the Bucs are probably going to be pretty bad. I picked up Navarro Bowman in free agency, and I'm going to be sending him to the Cardinals for their second-round pick. I offered the Browns Jonathan Hankins, Bradley McDougald, and Ed Dixon for Myles Garrett, just out of curiosity, assuming it'd probably be towards the bottom of the bar, and it was almost accepted, so I have to put in a first-round pick instead, which I'd rather not have to do if they almost accepted it with Ed Dixon there, but I think it's worth it getting Myles Garrett. He is a beast in the sim, at least what I've seen so far. 22 years old, 88 overall, and superstar development. Luckily, I will be getting that first-round pick back. I have to trade Byron Maxwell, Ed Dixon, and a fourth, but I think that's a good trade for us. Our offensive line sucks, so I need to make it better, and we're going to be trading Nazir Jones, I think that's how you say his name, and 2 fifth-round picks to the Falcons for Alex Mack. So now we have 3 pretty good offensive linemen because I did sign Richie Incognito, and 2 pretty crappy ones. I am done making trades. Here's a look at the team headed into season number 1. I think this team is solid. I could see around maybe 8 to 10 wins. There's the offense. Here's the defense. I think the defense is certainly the strong suit of this team, no doubt, with the addition of Myles Garrett and Khalil Mack. So, yeah, let's see how we do. The regular season is over, and we ended up making the playoffs, going 11-5. So, as you can see, those little numbers are skill points. We'll do Juju's on camera just so I can show you how it works. So, Juju has 4 skill points. We can use them to upgrade different attributes. I think I'm going to use most of them in possession because that is the scheme fit, and that's also one of his better, I guess, things he's good at. We'll probably do red zone threat for 1. 84 overall, looking nice, and I believe we have 1 more skill point left, so I'll use that for deep threat, and he's going to end up as an 84 overall. Very solid. Looking at the stats for the season, Russell Wilson, 3,750 yards, 30 touchdowns, 8 picks, not too bad. Rashad Penny, that's pretty awful, 3.3 yards a carry. I think we're probably going to go with a new running back next year. Receiving, Doug Baldwin, very good season, 95 catches, 1,282 yards, and 12 touchdowns. Gronk, not great. Juju, alright. And on defense, Bobby Wagner, 177 tackles. Shaquem Griffin had 73 tackles, that's pretty solid. Sacks, 6 for Khalil Mack. Myles Garrett only had 3. That's not too good. Interceptions, 5 from Shaquille Griffin. He had a really good year. 2 from Earl Thomas, 1 from a couple of other players. So it looks like our offense was the main reason why we were good, not our defense. Not a lot of sacks, not a lot of picks. As Russell Wilson is at number 7 for MVP. I simmed all the way to the Super Bowl, and unfortunately, I guess unshockingly, we didn't make it. Juju is another skill point. Dang. Juju, chill out, my guy. You've been eating when it comes to skill points. So, when did we lose in the playoffs? I have a feeling we lost in the first round of the Packers, which is probably for the better, because that will mean our pick is higher. And, no, we did beat the Packers, but we lost to the Falcons in round 2 by a lot. Look at the Lions making the NFC Championship. If only we won, but I'll take it. We re-signed Khalil Mack, Earl Thomas, and everyone we needed to re-sign back in the regular season, and this free agency class doesn't look too great. I'll probably sign a couple players just to trade them. Looks like Tyrod's going to go back to the Bills. That's interesting. I would go after some players like Trevor Williams or Dante Fowler, but the Redskins and the Dolphins of this game are so weird. They always overpay in free agency. It happens every year in Madden. I don't get it. But the players we are going to be going after are Trent Murphy, Alex Collins, Tyrod Taylor, and Kayvon Webster. All of whom, if we get, we're going to trade because I don't really want any of them. So in free agency, everyone who's I offered accepted except for Tyrod Taylor. And we also ended up signing, Marshawn Lynch, because I thought it'd be funny if we brought him back to the Seahawks. So now we are here in the NFL Draft. We have the very first pick, which was acquired in the New York Jets trade. And with that first pick, I'm going to be selecting Ed Oliver. I looked through this draft class. It's not great yet, but considering the game's only been out for 12 hours as of when I'm recording this, it's obviously going to get better. Ed Oliver, 83 overall, superstar development. Let's look at him. Boom, with this superstar flex. Very, very good pick. We can also look at the podium. It'll show his rating right there. I think that's really cool. So let's send him to our next pick or make a trade. I'm going to be trading the 14th overall pick as well as Kayvon Webster to the Cardinals for a strong safety by the last name of Howard. And of course David Johnson, the important part of the deal. So Rashad Penny will either be the backup or we will trade him. I thought I heard somewhere that they were going to make it harder to trade for offensive linemen this year. But if we're able to trade Trent Murphy for Zach Martin straight up, then it seems like it's not going to be too hard to trade for offensive linemen this year. We're going to be trading 2 first-round picks and Alex Collins to the Buffalo Bills for Tre'Davious White. I tried to do 1 first-rounder, Collins in a second, but they wouldn't do it. So we've got to trade 2 first-round picks, but I think it's worth it. We're going to be trading a 3rd-round pick and Marshawn Lynch to the Washington Redskins for Brandon Scherf, making our offensive line even better. We're going to be trading our 2nd-round pick and C.J. Prosise to the Indianapolis Colts for Quentin Nelson. I believe our offensive line is now complete. I'm going to be trading Gronk, Malik McDowell, and a 3rd to the Colts for a 1st-rounder. I know this trade looks like it makes no sense, but I need all the cap I can get right now, and Gronk is making a lot of money. We're going to be trading Jack Conklin because he is pretty expensive, as well as a first and a third to the Giants for Odell Beckham. So now our receiving core is set. All we need is a tight end, an offensive lineman, and an outside linebacker. So I was trying to trade for Devondre Campbell from the Falcons, but I put in Takk McKinley instead just out of curiosity, and they accepted. So some guy in free agency I signed by the name of Martin, a 4th round pick, and Coney Ealy will get the job done. So hopefully I can move McKinley or Khalil Mack over to outside linebacker, and they can play with Bobby and Shaquem. We are sending a 2nd round pick to the Baltimore Ravens for Marshall Yanda. So I'm pretty sure our team is pretty much complete. We have an extra 1st round pick on us just in case we need to use it. Our final trade before the regular season, we're going to be trading a 1st round pick to the Indianapolis Colts for Eric Ebron. As a Lions fan, I'm not the biggest Eric Ebron fan, but I have to do it because we need a tight end. Our team that we have made is a 93 overall. Both the offense and defense are both 97 overalls. As Russell Wilson, of course, still the quarterback. David Johnson, Odell, really good offensive line. And on the defensive side of the ball, we added Ed Oliver, Tre'Davious White, Takk McKinley. We got the Legion of Boom Jr. here with Tre'Davious White and Shaquille Griffin, and we got Legion of Boom Sr. with Earl Thomas and Cam Chancellor. Special teams, whoop-de-doo. Specialists, whoop-de-doo, even though I think the specialist thing is pretty cool. Season number 2, or at least for regular season for season number 2, is in the books, as we're going to get a 1st round bye. Juju has 4 skill points. Quentin Nelson has 3. On the defense, Ed Oliver has 7. Dang. We ended up going 11-5. That's not too bad. Usually 11-5 doesn't get you a 1st round bye, as we went 11-5 last year, and we didn't even win the division. Russell Wilson, pretty similar to last year. Solid. Rushing the ball, David Johnson was excellent. Receiving, no one really stood out too much. Looks like the rock was shared. Bobby Wagner with a lot of tackles. Delano Hill has 84. How is that possible? Takk McKinley has 20. Okay, so it must be the scheme. I didn't even know Frank Clark was still on our team. Okay, I messed up. Not a lot of sacks. But we went 11-5, so why fix something that ain't broke? So I ended up simulating to the Super Bowl, and we do indeed make it. And our opponent is the 12-4 Cleveland Browns. I'll give these two their skill points in a second. Both our offense and our defense is a 99. So we're going to quick look at the Browns. I guess Baker Mayfield must have had a really good season. Of course, remember, they don't have Myles Garrett because we have Myles Garrett. So their best players are Joe Bitonio and Jarvis Landry. Denzel Ward is a 90, though. My goodness. I almost traded for him, too, but I chose, I think, Tre'Davious White over him. Baker Mayfield is an 86 overall with superstar development, 88 with confidence. So this Browns team is solid, but I think we can beat them. I think we should beat them. I think we will beat them. Do we end up beating the Cleveland Browns in the Super Bowl? And, come on. Alvin Kamara Legacy Award. Did that mean we win? Swain finishes with the best-selling jersey. I guess that's an auto-generated rookie. And we beat the Browns in the Super Bowl 41-7. Oh my goodness, that's not even fair. That's getting the rebuild. Hope you guys enjoyed. Last year, the first rebuild I did with the Jets, we did not win the Super Bowl, so I guess it's good that, we did win the Super Bowl. Final look at the roster. This team is sweet. I forgot to give these guys their skill points, but we still won anyway. So who really cares? This team is absolutely stacked. And we kept Shaquem Griffin in there. He went up from a 72 to a 74. Woohoo. So, yeah. Bye. Have a nice day. Don't forget to say you're welcome when you close the door. You have to say you're welcome to the door. Okay?